Welcome to your weekly market update. We've seen rates improve week over week. We've seen great housing numbers come in. We've seen lots of activity to prove that home prices are going to continue to go up. So what I've been speaking about on the media that I talked to you about last week has continued this week. So let me show you this of the experts that I watch. 1 second.
A great breakdown of this. So please, let's go through it.
I do. And, I think the negative spin is just becoming more and more evident. And listen, she's been negative on housing for the last 10 years, and she's still sticking with her story. Let's watch a little clip of how she broke down the news and see if you can pick up on it right away.
Pending home sales eked out a tiny 0.8% gain in February.
Right off the bat, Diana Olick trying to be as negative as possible, using the adjectives tiny, eked out, a small 0.8% gain, really showing you her cards here, but trying to almost have you dismiss this as something you shouldn't pay attention to. There's no mention that this is a third month in a row of gains and that it's much better than expectations. The market was expecting this to decline by 3 percentage points, and here we are going up by almost 1%. Now, it's interesting because while she's trying to dismiss this 0.8% gain, let's not forget that just earlier this week, she made a huge deal that the median home price was down for the first time in 11 years by 0.2%. And she's no mention here that median home price actually went up on a month-over-month basis by 1.3%, that it's not appreciation, it's due to the mix of sales, and that real appreciation put in FHFA was up 5.3%, and Case-Shiller was up 3.8%. Let's take a look at the rest of the video, though, because there is more.
Pending home sales eked out a tiny 0.8% gain in February compared with January, still down just over 21% from a year ago, that all according to the realtors. The monthly gain is much smaller than the 8% jump we saw in January, and here's why. Take a look at mortgage rates. They started dropping off their fall highs in December and then came down sharply in January, but boom, shot right back up in February from 6% to over 7%. These pending sales are based on signed contracts during the month, people out shopping when their purchasing power suddenly got smaller because of those higher rates.
And this is potentially the most egregious thing that she does here in this segment, where she's explaining that the rates went up, and that's why we're only seeing in February an 0.8% gain. But this is the exact reason, and it should be obvious to everybody, why there's underlying strength in the housing market. We know in January we saw rates come down and there was a pop of activity, but even in February, when rates went back up by about 1 percentage points, you still saw an increase of 0.8% in activity for pending home sales, which is as real time as it gets. People out there in the month of February signing contracts on existing homes. I expect these numbers to get better. I think that it's likely to think some of the worst can be behind us here as we get into the spring home buying season and as you see rates move lower towards the second half of the year.
Yeah, Dan, those comments were echoed by Lawrence Yun as well, thinking that we are, the worst is certainly behind us. So he's the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors. And Dan, great job of breaking this down. The thing is that Diana Olick has departed from being a reporter a long time ago, and she has just been editorializing on this, and it's incredible because she's been so wrong for so long, like almost perfectly wrong on all of this for so many years. I wonder if it's that she knows that she's been so wrong that perhaps she just is trying to cling to anything that justifies her incorrect position. But the problem is that most consumers, realtors, they don't follow this as closely as we all do, so they don't know how horribly wrong she has been and how incorrect she's looking at this and the negativity that she's painting. And they look at this and they try and go, oh my God, the housing market's going to crash. And that's all they need as the difference between moving forward and not purchasing a home that will probably wind up making them much more wealthy and they back out of it. It's an awful thing that we are witnessing here. And that's why every single one of you watching this, please make sure you understand this information, because you have to be the guiding light to help people make the right decision right now.
And
So hopefully you've been watching this and you feel I'm helping you make the right decision. It just shows that the media, what you see on your phone, what you see on these news channels, it doesn't even matter if they have inaccuracies for 10 years. Their job is to get headlines, and peddling the fear is the headlines. So more positive information, as I mentioned at the beginning, mortgage rates vastly improved since March 9th. This was the highest interest rate in the last call it 15 years, and we have rallied great. So remember, on this chart, the lower it is, the worse the interest rate, the higher it is, the better. We hit over the last week the best interest rates on May 24th. So work with experts like myself that follow these markets. Follow experts that know how housing works and how it impacts you, and make sure that you work with professionals that get you into new homes. I'm honored to be helping you do that. You can call us anytime at 312-731-4939.